Dust off your bow tie, collar and cuffs. It's time for us to say welcome to Chippendales.
A world of luxury right at your fingertips. Sheer opulence.
Sheer opulence.
Hello and welcome to Screen OD, the channel for people who love TV, movies and streaming. My name's Tim. I'm an editor and a journalist who has been writing and talking about the media industry for more than 15 years. And today we are talking about a new show from Hulu called Welcome to Chippendales, which will be available in the UK on Disney+. This is one that is inspired by true events, which is the story of our time, and there's certainly been plenty of those recently. This one tells the origin story of the famous male dance troupe, the Chippendales.
You're hardworking, reliable. I want to promote you to general manager.
I'm afraid I cannot accept. That was my dream when I got here. But my goals have changed. I have changed.
Okay, so what's this one all about? Well, meet Somen Banerjee. He wants to live the American dream, and in the 1970s, he has emigrated from Mumbai in India to Los Angeles, where he is working as a gas station attendant. In fact, he's worked very long hours for many years to save money to try to achieve this dream. He looks up to the likes of Hugh Hefner, and one day he wants to have his own empire, and he wants to have his own club. And that's something that eventually, after saving for many years and doing nothing but thinking about his business empire, he is in a position to do. And so Somen, he changes his name to Steve, and he's played in the show by Kumail Nanjiani, who you may know from Silicon Valley if you're a fan of the HBO comedy where he plays Dinesh. He goes on to start a backgammon club, which is, of course, the future of the party scene in LA. Well, it's not. But he's got a foot in the door and he's got a club. But now he needs someone who can help him make it a success. Enter Paul Snider, played by Dan Stevens, alongside his Playboy Playmate wife, Dorothy Stratton. Now, immediately, Steve is endeared to him because he loves Hugh Hefner and he thinks that they are part of the same circles. It turns out that Paul may not be quite as connected as he first thinks. However, Steve cuts him in on a deal on the club to help him promote it. But it doesn't really work out as fast or as quickly as he would like, and still many weeks later things aren't going particularly well. They try lots of ideas, including mud wrestling, oyster eating and all sorts of other stuff, but none of it is really the classy dream that Steve has for his club and that this place deserves in his view as part of his business empire. Eventually, almost despairing, they go out for a night out and end up in a gay club. When they are there, Steve sees something which gives him the seed of an idea for what will become the Chippendales. He sees the idea of male dancers for women in a club. Why can't he have a strip club for women? And so he goes back to his club, which at the time is called Destiny 2. He renames it Chippendales, which he sees as a classy name, something that is named after the great carpenter of the past. And suddenly, he has a club that people want to go to.
Welcome to Chippendales.
I love this place. You need me.
You need a choreographer, and I do enjoy a challenge.
Cuffs and collars.
You are a genius.
This could be huge. This could be global.
Russia, China, the whole world.
Repeat after me. Things are going incredibly well.
Things are going incredibly well.
And I'm not going to blow it.
I'm not going to blow it.
His relationship with Paul is often stretched as he's becoming somewhat of a loose cannon, but also he knows that this isn't really the club that he wants. It's not classy like he believes that Hugh Hefner would make it. And so when a visit from Nick DeNoyer, who's an Emmy-winning choreographer to the club, confirms what he thinks, he knows he needs to get Nick on board. And when Nick, who's played by Murray Bartlett, who of course is excellent in The White Lotus Season 1, if you haven't seen that, go and watch it. When he comes on board, he is able to start making this into a choreographed dance act that people will come back to time and time again. That's not something that Paul thinks is particularly good, and he increasingly gets sidelined. There is a twist at the end of episode 1 which takes the story down a much darker path, and suddenly you realise that this isn't just going to be about a business and a dance troupe, but this is going to be an exploration of relationships relationships between people, and lots of other things that go on around the Chippendales in the 1980s in Los Angeles.
Please welcome Mr. Chippendales himself, Nick Denoya.
Chippendales is my creation. I hired him.
You and me stick together, or we go to war. It's not a threat. It's a promise.
He's gonna walk all over you. Every cent I have, I've put into this club.
This is a show from Robert Siegel, who is, if you remember, also the person behind Hulu's big hit at the beginning of 2022, Pam and Tommy. This show, similar to that, has a lot of pacing, a lot of energy, and quite quickly the tension starts to ramp up from the beginning. There are two really good performances in it. I think the central performance of Steve from Kumail Nanjiani is really, really good. It's a difficult and complex character to play, not particularly likable a lot of the time. And as someone who is best known for kind of comedy acting, this is a really good performance. It's believable, and it's one that you kind of can buy into, and you're interested to see how it's going to develop.
I don't mind that you do shady things.
Shame on you!
I will not allow you to do them badly.
The other great performance in the show comes from Murray Bartlett as Nick, someone who in public is very headstrong. He's able to hold his own and is able to have a creative vision that will shape the future of what is happening, but in private is someone who is clearly very lonely and is unable to truly be himself and live the life that he really wants to live.
Oh yeah, blood will spill.
We have to call the cops.
No, we do not call the cops!
Does this show get everything right? Well, no, probably not. And there are certain avenues that it starts to go down where you think maybe they could have been explored a little more. However, this is a show that is very watchable, and it does a good job of bringing alive a kind of 1980s Los Angeles and a world that feels grimy and sleazy, and also lots of characters who feel quite real within that environment.
Mr. Banerjee, this is the FBI.
I'm the boss!
You're a murderer!
I have everything. I regret nothing.
I'm going to burn his place to the ground.
You a bad man, Mr. Banerjee.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Welcome to Chippendales. Is available to watch in the UK, where I sit and speak to you today from on Disney Plus, and if you're in the US, you can watch it on Hulu. It's a show that I think you should, if you like this type of television, give a go. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed what you watched, and if you did, want to hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Of course, if you watch Welcome to Chippendales, don't forget to write in the comments below what you think of the show. We'll see you again for more videos very soon.